they say, who is they? But anyway, whoever they are, they say that this is one of those stages that you cannot skip. You cannot miss it.
Definitely.
When you're in med school.
It's true. When you have a problem, you have to consult. Who do you see?
Consultant.
In other words, individuals who've completed the Masters of Medicine program, we call them consultants. That's for the non-medical listeners of our podcast.
They're very senior people.
When I got to first year, and I'm in the anatomy lab, and I'm seeing these guys walking around with gold name tags. Yeah, for medical students, usually red.
It's red.
Yeah, and now we're seeing people with gold name tags. And I'm just like, okay. Yeah.
You know, the interactions that some of these guys have with the senior doctors makes them veer away from practicing medicine very early.
The guys in their training are very chill, very nice. So at what point does it change?
Do things change?
I do not understand.
You know how like a big tree covers a wide area?
True.
If it covers the sunlight completely, then there's nothing going to grow underneath.
Definitely.
Yeah, so we need to have trees that allow new plants to grow up underneath. And I think I'd want to be a tree like that. Greetings and hello. Welcome back to another episode of MedMike KE. You can talk now, Jimmy.
Well, clearly I missed my cue. But karibuni sana. Karibu to MedMike KE. My name is Jimmy Njoroge, the real G, JG. And this is...
The one, the only one. Mr. Mike's with the vibes. Keep mwenyewe. Keep drip.
When did you come up with that thing?
Which one?
The whole keep with the drip.
Oh, that one, actually, that was a stroke of genius. So my social media handles, kuna, for those who know, they know, but kuna kitu hapo. And then when you add the doctor, it becomes keep drip.
Keep with the dip, keep drip.
Keep drip.
Because he's a doctor.
Because he's a doctor.
I have to go rewrite mine. Suddenly GG, the real G doesn't sound.
Decolonize your mind. Decolonize.
But anyway, it seems like you're out here eating it up, man.
I'm telling you,
the whole name thing.
Tunafaa kukula maisha na kijiko kubwa bana.
Speaking of eating, restaurants in Nairobi.
I feel that's a controversial topic because
what do you mean?
I am of two minds of it. There's some restaurants that are actually worth the hype, and others that hapo ni ambience unalipia and the food is not that special.
Oh my. We will not be naming names, otherwise we'll get sued, guys. But in case your favorite restaurant is mentioned. It's an opinion, guys.
It's just an opinion. It's just an opinion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're talking about restaurants that unakula ambience peke. Which one are you talking about?
Actually, I was talking with my brother the other day, and we were talking about how these days for a restaurant to be really nice or being seen online, hyped on social media, it has to have either really good aesthetics, really good vibe, ama iko kwa rooftop, ama there's like a gimmick of sorts. There's something special about it that you're only finding there. So there's a place that I remember my parents used to tell me about. Kitambo, watoto wabaya ndo walikuwa naendanga huko. And kulikuwa na place ya kuchoma nyama. So it was a very fiery affair, if you get what I'm trying to say.
Oh my.
I'm saying without saying.
Oh my.
But you get what I'm talking about.
Good one.
Walikuwa nakula nyama na kukatika mpaka che. There's uncle vocabulary right there.
Salale. You could say you were left with a pot belly. You're leaving people in gout, not in doubt. Exactly. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. But what's that one place that you went to and you were like, wow, this is it. This is my place now.
It's a good experience.
Yes. Preferably hidden gems.
Hidden gems. Hizo ni ngumu bana. Some of them you go and see why they should have remained hidden. And others you're like, and yeah, this is worth the place. And you hope unaipata kabla watu wapate kujua.
Really?
But there's this place that was in the west area of Nairobi. West side. Yeah, so without being too specific, they had an offer that was really good for people to be able to have food and drinks for a budget amount.
I see.
Yeah, because hapo kasa ni moja ni 1500 na hujaguza vinywaji becomes a bit of an issue. Yeah.
1500. Yeah.
So if you have to budget for double that or triple that, and then now imagine if you're not doing it yourself, is wewe na plus one yako. The maths gets a very interesting. Yeah, definitely. But this place that I went to, the portions were good. The ambience was not bad. The views were really nice. The ambience, the music was fantastic. And there weren't those social media influencers in the corner trying to shoot content. And so they demand a lot of space or anything like that. So it was nice. It was really good. It was really good, yeah.
Nice. I respect that.
For those who want to find out, you can DM me for more details on this restaurant. Maybe nitakupeleka. Maybe. Just maybe. Hey, slow down. Afande, please.
Oops.
What about you?
I just wanted to shout out, the Vibandaski experience, the ones that are low budgets, but you don't have to really suffer the consequences of it, Kibanda experience without the Kibanda consequences. Yeah.
Croaky!
Yeah, there's a place along Gong Road. If you're along Gong Road, you will see one of these places. It's just somewhere there when you're not too far from the library. There's a spot there.
On Bagathi Way.
Not on Bagathi Way.
Not to be confused with Raila Odinga Way.
Exactly. Oops. We're getting political. That aside. Yeah, so there's a place close to the library, the National Library. Really nice spot, really good food. Really can't complain, honestly. Good prices, and you don't get suffer afterwards for it. Sometimes people say cheap is expensive.
That's true. That's true.
That place is your true definition of Kibandaski. Help of
Kibandaski.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kibandaski.
So you can go from kukula vitabu to
kukula fiti.
Alafu ukule story afterwards. Maybe.
I see what you did there.
In a work, guys. Don't crucify me. But yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. Topic of the day. I think this one is a bit controversial.
For real? Why?
Yeah. Because they say, who is they? But anyway, whoever they are, they say that this is one of those stages that you cannot skip. You cannot miss it.
Definitely.
When you're in med school.
True.
Doesn't matter where you are, you itakupata.
Yeah.
Now, kosa in med school, utaipata afterwards. For sure.
It's true. When you have a problem, you have to consult. Who do you see?
Consultant. Come on.
Exactly.
What about the consultant? The very senior people.
Very senior medical professionals. In other words, individuals who've completed the Masters of Medicine program, we call them consultants. That's for the non-medical listeners of our podcasts. Yeah, so, Kip, maybe you can tell me about your experience. When did you start meeting consultants? Was it before medical school? Was it during medical school? Maybe you can start from there.
Actually, for me, consultants was something that I came across nikiingia med school. Because I'd be like, you go to hospital, you book a consultation with the doctor, and I thought that's what consultants are. The guys you see in the consultation room.
Yeah.
But there's levels to this stuff.
True.
Now ni watu wako juu sana.
Yeah.
Very, very accomplished people.
Definitely.
And so I remember the first time I actually got to interact with some consultants. And those guys, they change the atmosphere in the room completely.
True.
Completely. When they walk in, everyone suddenly has direction, has movement.
Yeah.
Nikawa napanga foleni, you fall into line, literally.
Yeah.
And then you follow them around, literally.
Like flamingos.
Like flamingos.
Yeah, there are memes around that.
Yeah.
Or sheep following a shepherd.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I remember for me, the first time, nilikuwa nafuatana na watu. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. Let's see what's happening over here. There's one person who, and I remember the consultant at the time, they had a very soft voice. So everyone is following them and trying to be around them, but you can't hear what they're saying.
It's true.
So you're just like, okay, so do I try and squeeze? Do I try and get close? What do I do? And then you have the situation where they've come to the hospital, they're seeing the patients. So they see this patient, move on to the next.
Yeah.
The next one, what are we doing here? Move on to the next.
Just whispering. Man.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
And I was just like, okay, if this is how it's going to be with consultants, this is almost like when the board manager or the CEO checks into the company.
That's true.
Kila mtu anatii.
Yeah.
The direct translation, everyone toes the line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. I think I had an almost similar experience to yours. Only mine was in the anatomy lab when I was in first year. Before then, I did not know who a consultant was. I think I just called them Daktari. So when I started hearing the term consultant was when I got to first year and I'm in the anatomy lab and I'm seeing these guys walking around with gold name tags. Yeah, for medical students, usually red.
It's red.
Yeah, and now we're seeing people with gold name tags. And I'm just like, okay. And even among the gold name tags, they are the guys who are there dissecting with you, and they're the ones who are actually coming to teach.
Yes.
So now there are 2 levels of gold name tags. So this guy comes. So initially I saw the first group of red name tags. We call them registrars. These are master students in their during their training. I had the privilege of dissecting with them. Like we were on the same table. And these guys are just chill, they're doctors, they're trying to learn with you. They look like your older brother or sister, just teaching you stuff. And you're like, wow, medicine is not so bad. These guys just want to learn. And you meet the other gold name tag.
Yeah.
Which is, this guy just shows up and suddenly the fun gold, I'll call them the fun goldies versus the cold goldies. Yes. So the fun goldie is suddenly quiet when the cold goldie comes in.
The air is becoming metallic.
Exactly. Maybe I'll give an allusion to Harry Potter if you've read the books.
And watch the movies.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me not go down that tangent. But yeah, when Dementors come in and suddenly the room is cold.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is cold.
They suck the fun out of the air.
Exactly. So this guy just came in and suddenly everyone was quiet and I was like, what's going on? Because I remember, I think I was trying to look for a structure or something. And this guy was like, how are you? I was like, I'm good. I didn't even bother to look up. Turns out it was a big mistake.
Whoa.
Yeah. Because he just kept talking and I just kept doing my thing. And then I think I said something smart because he was like, I usually just come to ask questions. And I was like, what if I ask you questions back? And he was like, ooh, you have a smart mouth, don't you? And I looked up. I was like, oh no. And then, the fun goldies were huddled in one corner of the table.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, you screwed up, my boy.
Because that was the first mistake, was not looking up.
Yeah.
Second mistake was now kujibu mtu vibaya.
Exactly.
You're throwing back your words. Yeah. That's so crazy.
Now suddenly I'm talking back, and this is a smart first year now with a smart mouth. So anyway, I was asked a few questions that I could not answer because I was a first year medical.
And I'm so sure they knew you couldn't answer.
Exactly. But it was putting me in my place. And then I was told that I will just say it in Swahili the way he said it. He told me that unajua mkishindwa kusoma tunarudishia wazazi school fees. Na tunaambia umeshindwa kusoma. And I was so depressed. Direct translation. Basically, if you're unable to read, you will have your school fees returned to your parents.
So that it's not wasted, yeah?
So that it's not wasted, clearly. So now I had to go home. I think it was a distance of around 20 kilometers, just contemplating my life the whole time.
My goodness.
Yeah, and I swore to impress that consultant in one way or another.
That's such a heavy line.
Yeah.
For me, it's on the same level as that one for... it's also in Kiswahili. Wazazi waliuza ng'ombe kupeleka ng'ombe ingine shule.
My goodness, it's like I don't know, is this like a common line among these guys?
I don't... Let me tell you, I feel like growing up in this African country, it gives you a certain skill of using words to be malicious. To intentionally hurt someone where it hurts. Exactly. It's like what do you call it? It's like a prerequisite. Yes.
You should have tough skin and you should be able to dish
it out as much as you can take. If not more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was trying to understand, where did it go wrong? Because the guys in their training are very chill, very nice. So at what point does it change?
Do things change?
I do not understand. Maybe you can give me your thoughts.
I honestly think that's one of the ways you can tell of the difference in transition. Because you're seeing the groups of guys who they were in school and medicine was 5 years. And that's the time when everything was survival of the fittest.
True.
Yeah. Not taking any prisoners.
Yeah.
Whoever makes it, makes it.
Yeah.
And if you make it with your skin intact, then you are deserving of the title. If you
Definitely.
make it and you're battered and bruised,
That's
you
true.
make sure everyone else also has to go through the grinder, as it were.
Definitely.
Yeah, so
definitely.
I think that's one class of the type of goalies. And then the second class might be these guys who, when the system was changing, it went from 5 years to 6 years.
Yeah.
There are more university options available.
True.
And it wasn't such a trial by fire for you to become a doctor.
Definitely.
Yeah, or a consultant for that matter.
It's true. It's true. But something I always hear from some of these guys when I interact with them, some of these consultants, is that the consultants that taught them were worse. So it's
and that's always a standard.
Exactly. So it's more or less inherited trauma. So they were mean to me, so I'll be mean to you, so that you can be mean to the next person because we are all mean. I don't know. I don't really understand the whole premise behind that.
Or because it builds character or something.
Yeah, apparently it builds, so you should be rough, you should be tough, so that it builds character. I do not understand that bit. But I guess that's one of the reasons why these consultants are the way they are. But yeah, I think that's one of those odd things where you're just like, we can't fix it, but we can be better when we are consultants ourselves. Yeah. So maybe we've been focusing on the negative aspects too much. Maybe
Actually,
you can tell me,
that's a good point.
Yeah, maybe you can tell me, what was that moment where, like, you had a really good experience with a consultant and you really found yourself looking up to them, being like, wow, I want to be like this person someday.
Actually, that's an interesting thing you've mentioned, because I was recently having a conversation with a colleague of mine, and we were talking about how, especially the more advanced you get in medicine, the more you realize how little you knew before.
True.
You know?
Yeah.
And then, because we're all human, you can end up forgetting that some people are not as knowledgeable.
True.
Or they're naive, innocent.
Yeah.
And then now, when you start getting a bit mean, it becomes ignorant, blissful, those sorts of things where you're blaming them for their lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
But there was this time when I was in a hospital ward, and we were interacting with the senior consultants, and they were asking me, based on a case this was in the maternity ward. So we were talking about cases of risk of hypertension in pregnancy. And how it follows, the side effects, risk of complications, and whatnot. And I'd done my reading because I'd had a patient who had hypertension. I'd done my reading, we'd had a lecture on it. So to me, it felt like I was just spotting out stuff that we've just learned recently. But the doctors were saying that this is, the more they're hearing, they're saying, continue. Okay, it seems like some students are reading. And for me, that was the first time I was thinking I've ever been given a compliment by a doctor in the ward round. In terms of people. And then now when I was just trying to explain myself, you just, no, I mean, we've just learned it. Some doctor told me, shh. You've done enough. You've said enough. Just accept, keep quiet, and remember this compliment, because they're extremely rare.
Exactly.
So I was just, for me, that at a moment had stuck with me.
Wow. That's amazing.
One of a kind. I can't say there are many people who got similar to that, actually.
Similar compliments.
Yeah.
True, definitely. For me, my experience with a consultant was actually outside the ward. So I was in a camp somewhere. We were doing a medical camp somewhere in Narok. It's a really dry place. Most people make fires using firewood. So I was in the process. I was trying to start a fire. Now, this is one of those skills that most people learn in scouts. So here I was learning as a 23-year-old adult.
Senior scout.
A senior scout, I guess. Yeah. So I was there trying to start the fire, but it wasn't getting on. So this consultant came to me and he was like, yo, bro, starting a fire is like anesthesia. It has 2 phases, induction and maintenance. I was like, my guy. That was really fire.
Excellent job.
So you showed me how to like start the fire, how you start with the dry things, the flame, whatever, the ash. And then afterwards you have to find out of maintaining it, so the airflow, regulating it nicely, ensuring that the fire gets up, what to do when it starts getting low. And I was like, wow, these are some really nice tidbits. And then I came to meet him in the ward afterwards. And I found that he had the same personality and the same character while teaching.
Really?
Yeah, so not only were we discussing the knowledge, the theory bit.
Yeah.
I was trying to put in an IV line, and here he was
Teaching you the same way, giving you the same
way, telling me
experience.
this is how you go in. You know, it's like an aeroplane. An aeroplane doesn't go in, you know,
Immediately,
yeah, exactly, at a 90-degree angle. It has to go in at an acute angle. It needs to land slowly. You know, you need to know how you feel when you're getting inside on the runway. You know, you start seeing that backflow, what to do with the needle. And I was like, wow, this is such a good guy. I really hope I'm able to teach as well as he is. Yeah, wherever he is, I really hope he's inspiring more medical students to be like him, because
Actually,
we
I'm hoping
definitely
so. Need more of those guys for sure.
we
For
need
sure.
more people like him, because medicine is wholesome.
Yeah.
You know, there's a practical bit and there's a theory bit. It's not enough to just expect someone to be on your level.
Yeah.
So that's something I really respected.
No, I can imagine that was fantastic, because especially in my experience, like you're talking about, there's the practical and then there's the theory.
Definitely.
People value someone who has a lot of theory.
True.
And is able to implement it in theory.
True.
Yeah, but the guys who actually do the work
Yes.
are also just as competent.
True.
So you might have one who's maxed out the statistics on that side of the theory, but in practical they leave it to the rest.
It's true.
And I think that's what happens when you get senior. Now you get the complex cases, the ones that require a lot of thinking, a lot of researching, and then now that's how you're able to actually deal with them. But when you're at the baseline, at the beginning, you have to have a good balance of both.
True.
You have to 6-7. You have to have a good balance of both.
6-7.
Yeah, completely. Maybe even Gen Alpha.
Oh yeah, the Gen Alphas. Oh my god.
We're getting unk.
Are we old, bro?
We're getting old, bro. We're getting so old.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Good enough. Yeah, so I feel like getting people who are able to teach in that manner, it's very rare.
Okay.
It's very rare. What do you think the future of being a consultant in medicine is looking like?
Generally, the field of healthcare is getting very interesting. We're having a lot of people sort of diverting from the traditional path of medicine. Maybe to elaborate on what the traditional path is. Traditional path is get into med school, finish med school, do internship, get employed by the government, get enough money to start your own clinic. Some people call it a kiosk, basically, because you're a salesperson.
Yeah.
Get enough money to start your own kiosk, and then get so much money as do your masters, expand that kiosk, and live happily ever after. That's the traditional path. But now we have so many medical schools. Every year we have almost 2,000 new doctors graduating from all the medical schools around the country.
Yeah.
So the spaces, the number of spaces that we are having for new doctors, young doctors who are medical officers,
up and coming,
new consultants who are coming from their master's programs is reducing, because we do not have as many gaps in the employment market as we did before. And that's what everyone is telling me. Everyone that I meet tells me I should do USMLEs, try and find other opportunities in the US. But we see what our orange-haired guys doing over there.
The world is changing.
Exactly. Other people are telling me to leverage, to sort of pivot into tech, which is what I've seen. I have a lot of friends who are doing that currently.
Actually, that's a serious point, because, you know, the interactions that some of these guys have with the senior doctors makes them veer away from practicing medicine very early.
True.
Very early. So it's interesting like that. You should mention that.
Yeah, and I actually know a lot of guys who aren't even doing internship after they graduate. They're just, you know, going to do MBAs and do tech.
Yeah.
So for me, what my path will be as a doctor is I'm trying to balance. I am passionate about research. So that's one of the things I'm looking to leverage going forward. I'm passionate about a bit of agriculture, not too much. When I say agriculture, I don't mean I want 20 acres of maize. I just need a small space. Yeah, exactly. I just need a small space with some goats, some rabbits, you know.
Yeah.
So that as well, some avocados maybe, God willing. I'm thinking of tech, a bit of tech, specifically data science, and how to leverage it in research. So those are some of the things I'm thinking of, in addition to what I'll do in consultancy. For that, I don't know what I want to do yet. But if it works out, you know, in the next 10 years, maybe I'll be here as a guest. Who knows?
That's what we hope for, actually.
What's yours? What do you think your future is as a consultant?
I think, especially for me, I have been having conversations with people. And of course, they mentioned that one of the things they'd like is to make sure we don't pass on trauma to the next generation.
True.
Yeah, so that making sure, like it's good to hear that you're still into medicine, you're still into research, and that your experiences with previous doctors hasn't pushed you away from this field.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, because that would be terrible. And that's how you lose talent. That's how you lose. You talked about doing USMLEs, doing medicine outside. Brain drain is a serious thing.
It is.
It's a serious thing.
It is.
And not to be controversial, but I feel like, especially when you have a space where kuna watu wanakula pesa, there are people who are in senior positions and refuse to shift from there for really long periods of time.
True.
You stifle, you're not giving the grass time to grow. Yeah, and so it's just, you know how like a big tree covers a wide area?
True.
If it covers the sunlight completely, then there's nothing going to grow underneath.
Definitely.
Yeah, so we need to have trees that allow new plants to grow up underneath. And I think I'd want to be a tree like that in my consultancy. A tree that is tall and blooming, but gives guys space to grow. And maybe even grow taller than I've reached.
Definitely.
Yeah, because I think this is something I really appreciate. The only importance of knowledge and wisdom is in its practice. So when you're able to put it into application and you see it actually helping people, and you can't help yourself only. You have to help others.
You definitely have to help others.
Yeah. So if you can put that knowledge, all that accomplishment, all those research papers you've written, all those hospitals you've worked in, all those papers that you have been credited in, if you actually put them into practice and help people, then you're making a difference. Yeah, and see title tu kwa jina that you're walking around unasema mimi ni mkubwa, you know.
Are you sure you're not a chef, bro?
Hey, I'm cooking.
You're cooking, man.
Actually, relax.
Oh my Lord.
Before I burn in the kitchen.
This thing is fire. That is a lot. That is a lot of.
Yeah.
You're actually given a lot of heavy words over there. Knowledge and wisdom. I'm going to write that down somewhere.
I appreciate it.
Please give me the permission to plagiarize it, because I'm definitely going to include it in a speech.
Go ahead.
Knowledge and wisdom are only important in their practice. Oh my Lord, that one is fire.
Yeah, Maze. I'm a bit of a scientist myself.
A philosopher.
Those who understand. If you get that reference, you get it. Get it.
Yeah, big meme knowledge needed.
Yeah, I feel like, especially for the topic that we've covered, we may have just even been scratching the surface.
Definitely.
I don't know how many people have had experiences that they maybe can't even talk about senior people in the field. But if you'd like to share with us, you can drop it. You can visit our social media pages. You can talk to us, give us our feedback, reach out to us on Instagram, on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. Yeah, karibu niseme Apple Podcasts. Apple Music, Google Podcasts. And tell us about your experiences being a young aspiring medical practitioner dealing with senior people.
Oh yeah, definitely. We'd love your engagement. Feel free to reach out to us. Give us your feedback on our podcasts. Give us new ideas as well. We welcome them. So feel free to reach out. And we'll probably even have an episode for that. Yeah,
for sure. So as we conclude, we'd like to reach out and acknowledge the one, the only Daktari Online, one of the leading platforms of continuous medical education in Africa that also has multiple courses and CPD accreditation. Please check it out. And don't stay in your ignorance. Get that wisdom, get that knowledge, put it into practice.
Exactly. I'd also wish to shout out our able team. We have one of our really helpful members of our team. We have Charity Nyabuto. She's behind the camera. Yeah, she's always here supporting us.
Head of MedMic.
I also wish to shout out Moses.
Director of Production. DOP.
Yeah, you see us here live and in living color because of Moses.
Yes, sir.
So makofi kwa Moses.
Na kwa hayo machache. Catch you on the next episode.
See ya.